Denver Broncos picked up their first win of the season, 26-7 in Tampa, and Bo Nix looked good. Winning is awesome, but winning while your rookie quarterback looks good feels like you just won 5 games on one Sunday. So we're going to recap this game, break it down in case you missed it, or if you did watch the game, just my thoughts and impressions from the game as a whole. But there's a lot to be excited about for Denver coming out of this win. I mean, this is a long in terms of mileage, 2-game road trip to open up, the second half of the first quarter of the season, going to Tampa and then going to New York to take on the Jets next. But Bo Nix, definitely the biggest story, I would say, because this was his best game through 3 games so far. He was on time, he was accurate, and the ball came out quickly, right? He wasn't holding on for the ball forever. He wasn't taking a bunch of sacks and things like that. He was great with his legs yet again. Still looking for that first touchdown through the air, but he did pick up the first touchdown of the game on the ground, which, by the way, I respect Sean Payton for taking the ball to start the game. I think that shows a ton of confidence. Usually, Sean Payton and most coaches defer if they win the coin toss to get the ball to begin the second half. But I think Sean Payton wanted his entire locker room to know, hey, we trust our rookie quarterback. We're going to give him the football, and he's going to march down the field and put up points. And that's exactly what happened. So really good stuff from Bo Nix today. I felt like this was his best game by a mile. I mean, for starters, he didn't turn the ball over, no interceptions. Nearly had one, but whatever, DB dropped it. But yeah, by far, Nix's best game. Broncos pick up a gutsy win. I put out a video on Friday, I think it was, about what Denver needs to do to go into Tampa and win. And they pretty much hit all 3 keys. Pat Surtain completely removed Mike Evans from this game. He was a non-factor. We had star players making big-time plays. Brandon Jones with an interception, a fumble recovery when the Buccaneers were trying to at least salvage something at the last couple of minutes of the game, despite it pretty much being out of reach. And then you finally got some good ground game going. We can look at the Broncos offense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense here. On the ground, 28 carries, 136 yards. Tyler Beatty, 9 carries, leading the way, or as the broadcast called him, Tyler Badee. I thought that was fun. Unless I've been saying his name wrong my entire life. That gave me a little chuckle when I heard that. Like, I don't think that's it. I'm sure everyone watching at home was like, I don't think so. But yeah, 1 fumble from Javonte Williams, which we'll talk about the running backs later on. But again, Bo Nix, he looked really good today. I mean, he's not at his ceiling, but he's improving. And then for a rookie quarterback, that's really all you can ask for. Week to week for him to go, hey, I know the mistakes I made last week. We're going to correct those mistakes, or we're going to reduce the number of those mistakes. And that definitely was evident this week. So a lot of good stuff from number 10. We're going to talk about the defense in the second half of the video, but I do want to show some love to them, including DeAndre Tillman, who had a monster game in his first game on the active roster this year. But let's talk about the running backs for a brief moment here. It's clearly going to be a running back by committee approach and probably go with the hot hand. Right now, Tyler Beatty is kind of the hot hand. Unfortunately, Javonte Williams is playing himself out of the lineup. If not for some good grabs he had today in his overall pros as a receiver when playing running back, running in between the tackles, you're basically signing up for 2 yards max with Javonte. It's just becoming unplayable at this point. Jaleel McLaughlin had an awesome touchdown early in the game. He completely broke a guy's ankles. Inside, back to the outside, to the pylon for 6. Overall, the offense put up 2 touchdowns on the ground and a boatload of Will Lutz field goals. Got them 26-7. But yeah, Tyler Beatty, 9 carries, 70 yards, that 43-yard run in the second half too. I wouldn't say put the game away, but I feel like if the Buccaneers had any chance of getting back into it, it had to start with a stop right there, and instead it results in 3 points for Denver. So really good stuff from him because this running back room is looking for a leader, and they're looking for a ball carrier that can lead them through tough moments on the ground. If you need to get a first down to put the game away and to keep the opposing offense on the sideline, he's making a case for that job right now. Now, I do want to show some love to the defense because they were fantastic today. Just 7 points for Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, who got off to a really strong start this year. But first, I want to fill everyone in on our sponsor today, which is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members, where all you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Now, all September long, you can get Caleb Williams' passing yards at 0.5. So it's a free more right there. So it's a free win. And then you just add 2 on, 3 on, 4 on, however many you want, and you're ready to roll. So these are my selections for Sunday Night Football. Feel free to ride along with me if you want to have some extra rooting interest while watching the Falcons and the Chiefs, or if you just want to take the less on everything Kansas City related. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win, by the way, to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, we got to show some love to the defense, though, for Denver. They were all over Baker Mayfield all game long. What was it, 6, 7 sacks? And DeAndre Tillman leading the way with 2 sacks. He was just promoted from the practice squad to the active 53-man roster when Garrett Bowles went to IR and opened up, which, by the way, I felt like the offensive line being, 1, bad for the first 2 weeks, and 2, a little bit shorthanded, really bounced back today. So that was really reassuring to see. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, 163 yards, 1 touchdown to Chris Godwin in the corner of the end zone before the end of the half. Riley Moss in coverage, just a good throw and a good catch. Not much you can do about it, but 1 interception. Brandon Jones came up with a big INT. He had 2 takeaways altogether, a fumble recovery and an interception. Bucky Irving, that's the rookie out of Oregon. He did have some nice runs. We can give credit where credit is due, but all around, this Denver defense wasn't bend, don't break. This Denver defense was physical and harassing. And the 7 points from the Buccaneers reflects that, especially in the second half. Baker and the offense turned it over on downs from the Denver 30-ish. Really good open field tackle. Zach Allen a part of it, who's had a really good start to the year. And then on top of that, you get the fumble recovery and the big return by Brandon Jones to really put this game away. Mike Evans, though. This is where Mike Evans' highlights were supposed to go. Oh, there are none. That's right. Pat Surtain put him away. 2 grabs, 17 yards. What was the one thing I asked for? Pat Surtain masterclass. I was like, if Denver's going to get themselves in the win column on the road against Mike Evans and the Bucs, it's got to be because Baker does not have his #1 target. And that was evident today. Godwin, 6 grabs, 53 yards, 1 touchdown, but no big deal. Great job by PS2 after not a bad start to the year. I think that's overly critical, but just because he's so good, the bar is so high that when he's not playing at an elite level and just like a good or average level, we're all like, what the heck is going on with PS2? But that's just because he's so good. The expectations are so high for him. But overall, 26-7. Denver improves to 1-2 on the year. They have the New York Jets next on the road. They didn't really pick up any injuries that I recall, unless I'm being a big Dumbo right now. So, yeah, very excited for what they could possibly do next week against the Jets to try and get to 500 before coming back home. The Jets definitely started to, round into shape a little bit with that win against the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. So they have some extra rest, unfortunately, which, by the way, this is a big, scheduling disadvantage. Not only is Denver all the way across the country in New York, or New Jersey, but it's back-to-back road games. They're going to stay out west and practice at West Virginia. And the Jets are coming off Thursday Night Football. So they have added in rest. So major scheduling, advantage going to the Jets. But if you're the Broncos and you wanted to win one of these 2 games, I feel like you'd want it to be this first one, just because then that whole week of practice, it's optimism and it's a sense of we know we can do it. We just saw ourselves do it. Now we got to put pen to paper here. Sub for Dubs, by the way. Keep the good times rolling. Just other final thoughts I had. Wide receivers played a lot better. Like Lil Jordan Humphrey, he's not a fantasy football god, but man, he is tough to bring down, and he always finds a way to get to that first down marker. Cortland Sutton, I thought, had a really good game as well. We even got a little bit of Troy Franklin. Still really no Marvin Mims. He had 1 grab for not even 10 yards. But yeah, Humphrey, Again, this doesn't really pop out as like sexy numbers, 6 grabs, 37 yards, but I'm a big fan of Mr. Humphrey. And then Sutton really led the way for the receiving corps, 7 grabs, 68 yards, nearly had a touchdown, which would have given Bo Nix his first passing touchdown of his career, but we wait another week. All right, once again, appreciate everyone for hanging out with us here as we recap this game for you guys. Make sure to subscribe to keep the good times rolling into week 4. Broncos take down the Bucs 26-7.